Hello, welcome to this your channel, the Eurofan. Text me after the resounding failure suffered in last year's contest, with an entry that promised to be amazing at first, but that ended lackluster on the stage from me and Nikolai and Dion Cooper, generating criticism and controversy in which no one got safe. Netherlands moves forward in the competition despite the floods suffered, looking to compensate from the errors committed in the last edition. We will see now who will be the artist to be in charge this time to represent the Dutch nation in Malmo. Let's go! For today's episode, I'm going to review the Dutch entry for Eurovision 2024, which will be represented by rapper and singer Joost Klein with the song Europapa. First of all, we are going to review his biography and career before leaving his Eurovision adventure on Swedish lands. Joost Klein, or sometimes well known just by his name, is a Dutch rapper and singer, coming from the city of Leeuwarden, located in northern Netherlands. Before even starting a musical career, Joost was known at first in a YouTube channel opened by him when he was 10 years old, uploading videos, doing sketches and mini documentaries. He will adopt a different perspective 6 years later, in which he will publish through his channel his first 2 singles, achieving a great success by having millions of views, then starting a musical career that will take off very quickly. Nowadays, most of his videos from his YouTuber phase have been erased from his channel, although a few bunch of them can be still seen. In 2017, he will sign a record deal with a Dutch indie hip-hop record label, but then he will leave it the following year to establish his own record label. To date, Joost has released 8 studio albums, with the most recent one being released in 2022, which have had an outstanding success, reaching high positions in the Dutch charts. Although it has not happened the same with most of his singles released throughout his musical career, but his strong point are the musical festivals, by frequently participating in several of them in both Netherlands and Belgium, and recently he has started to get noticed as well in the musical charts of Germany, Austria and Switzerland. About his musical style, although he is mostly a hip-hop and rap artist, his compositions also have influences from pop and electronic music, mostly from the subgenres gabber, hardstyle and drum and bass, pretty acclaimed especially in the musical festivals of the genre. He is also widely known by his extravagant and extroverted performances, his catchy rhythms and his creative wordplays, which have gained him a wide legion of fans. Apart from his artistic career, he also released a book with poems written by him in 2018, encouraged by his father when he was still alive, who wanted him to become a writer. In fact, it is fair to say that he is still doing it, although from a different perspective. On the other hand, what most of his loyal followers will not imagine is that he is a true Eurovision fan. In fact, he used to watch it since ever together with his parents when they were still alive, glued to the screen year by year. Then, during last year, he thinks about giving an attempt to represent his country by starting a campaign in social media to reach this goal. Let's see how his Eurovision dream comes true. Keeping up with the strategy of recent years, the Dutch public broadcaster will be internally selecting once again both the artist and the song that will represent the country on Sweden. For this, a submission period was opened in mid-July of last year for the Dutch artists and songwriters who were interested in sending their proposals, being able each one to submit up to 3, and closing it by late September of last year. Unlike previous occasions, for this year songwriters could send proposals without a performer, which won't be selected at a later stage in case of being selected. After the deadline, it was known that 613 proposals were received, which will be reviewed by an expert panel appointed by the broadcaster, making a shortlist of 10 from these proposals. As a main novelty in the process, The 10 proposals will lead thanks to a final round, in which the artists will perform them live in front of the expert panel before taking the final decision. Then, by last mid-December, during a press conference organized by the broadcaster, it was officially announced the selection of Joost as the Dutch representative that will have the ticket to Sweden. Joost has stated to feel honored after being selected, being also a dream come true for him, and accepting the big challenge it takes by representing his country at the contest. Then they will start to work in the entry to polish it ahead of the competition in Malmo, and releasing both the song and its accompanying official music video by late last February. And now to Europe in key of hip-hop and rap. Let's discover a little more about this particular proposal with which he will attend the contest in Sweden. Being true to his style, the melody is a track which blends rave, happy hardcore and the gabber from the 1990s, taking inspiration of the musical work from the bands True Unlimited and Venga Boys, thus having a remarkable musical style from that decade. In fact, it is listening to it and get back immediately to those times where gabber and Eurodance were trending in that decade, being it as so lovely, festive and fun. Joost voice is fine in the other hand, declaiming during the verses and singing in the chorus together with synthesizer backing vocals. Talking about the lyrics, it has been written by himself in Dutch together with a group of songwriters, where two names stand in this group: the fellow Dutch rapper Danny Ellerstrom, with which he usually collaborates, and the Dutch DJ and producer Paul Delstack, who is nothing but the creator of happy hardcore. About the context behind the lyrics, Joost has commented that it talks about an orphan which travels around Europe and even beyond to find its own self and tell its own story. In this sense, he has commented that the song pays an homage to his late father, who taught him to live in a world without borders, as well as a nod to Europe, being quite noticeable with the song's title. It is to stand out in this case that it is not the first time that he writes a song about his father. In one of the singles of his latest studio album titled Florida 2009, he openly speaks about his feelings after having lost his father due to cancer when he was 12 years old, and having lost his mother due to a cardiac arrest the year after, then having a sad and darker teen, and that has influenced a lot of him on the way he sees life and creates music. Reading the lyrics more in detail, previously translated of course, it describes the journey made by the orphan throughout Europe, noticing in this case the mixture of melancholy and happy sensations on it. In the first verse, there is a phrase where he affirms to have lost everything but time, making reference in this case to the loss of his close family, by having been also an only child, but even so taking most of time to the fullest. From there, the fact of moving around Europe. By the second verse, there is a first phrase where he affirms being escaping from himself and asking for help, and another more phrase where is mentioned the song Papa Ute performed by Belgian singer Stromae, which he listens on the radio. Both phrases make a reference to the melancholic state felt by him, by missing his father while still moving around Europe, and emphasizing the song Papa Ute, with which Joost also feels identified, after Stromae talking about the loss of his father at an early age just like him. With all this commented, it is easy to find out that the orphan reference in the song is himself, being in this case a very personal and autobiographical song. About the message transmitted with the song, Joost stands out the fact that there are no boundaries or limits in the chase of making our dreams come true, as well as the idea of living in a world without borders, like the European Union nowadays, appealing in this case to keep and preserve community values with our similarities and differences. Let's now check out how Joost takes the melancholic and fun background described in the lyrics through the official music video. The plot begins with the song's intro having a few phrases in English, seeing Joost in an open field, wearing an extravagant black suit with high pikes in the shoulders, while he sees in the horizon a very curious structure, which looks like a conglomerate of houses, buildings and even a windmill, with many waving European flags on it. With the initial chorus the scene changes, then seeing a sort of press conference room with many European flags at the back, and Joost wearing a blue European suit with pointed shoulder pads. It comes to attention in this case, as the Polish singer Luna wears a similar outfit in the music video of her entry. Maybe they have exchanged ideas for their outfits in some moment. While the attendance in the press conference room and montages of Joost himself, taking notes in a notebook or taking pictures of interviewing with a microphone. In the middle of the crowd of news reporters, stands out a boy who is playing a game in an old-fashioned handheld console. In fact, it is a Nintendo Game Boy Advance SP for those who are video gamers. When Joost starts to perform the first verse, there is a transition to the handheld console screen, telling him selecting the option real life, playing the video game like a live-action game. That game would represent in some way the journey he makes around Europe, dressed like a European cowboy while driving a golf cart, joining him in a travel maid which is wearing an extravagant outfit during the journey, also driving a golf cart. In some moment the scene changes again, where you can see versions of himself in the bathroom, but in different times. Choose from the past being a child, choose from the present day, and maybe what it will be choose for the future after getting much older. All the previous scenes alternate, until there is an extra one by the chorus, with Joost doing a funny choreography together with 4 girls dressed as schoolgirls. For the second verse, Joost's journey continues, and you can see a third travel maid driving also a golf cart. I can understand in this case that these travel mates will probably represent all those people joining Joost in his way of finding himself. In another different shot, there is Joost together with some people having a banquet. But what comes to attention are precisely those people that are joining him at the table. In the far left, there's René Froja, who was one of the members of the trio of the Toppers, which have represented the Netherlands in 2009 during the edition held in Moscow, Russia. Then just next to him it is Steen, who was the Dutch representative just 2 years ago in Turin, Italy. Then also in the far right there's the television presenter Emma Bottenberg, who was the spokesperson of the boats from the Dutch jury at Eurovision in 2019 when it was held in Tel Aviv, Israel. Probably many of you will not know or remember, but during that time it became viral her reaction and extreme euphoria after realizing the victory of Duncan Lawrence that year. And just next to her there is another person I cannot identify, although I guess it will be another known Dutch personality. If anyone knows who is he, you can mention it in the comments down below. By the second chorus now there is Joost wearing a casual outfit and playing a guitar, or at least it seems like, while he has a small band behind him with synthesizers, and with the windmill in the background. These shots alternate with other ones previously seen, with the different characters having different expressions of euphoria. And then, during the instrumental bridge, it comes the climax of the performance. It is night already in the open field, seeing a large group of people dancing the classic dance steps from Gabba. Now this is literally a rave party, and I have to say that I love how hardcore and fun it looks, and even makes me want to join them and start the dance as well. While this rave party is still developing, it comes to attention another shot with Joost wearing the same outfit seen at the beginning of the music video, sitting in the roof of a car. But it is quite remarkable who was at the steering wheel inside the car. It is Paul Levstak himself. He does not only participate in the composition and production of the track, but also makes a cameo appearance in the music video. It is the creator of Happy Hardcore supporting Joost in all ways. Towards the end of the performance, there is another succession of the shots previously seen, finishing with a close-up of Joost in his most happier mood. But when you think that it's already finished, there are additional shots that change completely the dynamic of the music video, while it is heard an instrumental slowed down version of the chorus together with backing vocals and the piano. That reminds me in fact of what also have done the Croatian singer Baby Lasagna, now that I think about it, by adding an emotional epilogue in the music video of his entry. The 3 versions of Joost are now in the bedroom previously seen and that it's now in flames, while the Joost from the present sings some verses in Dutch, which in English would translate like this: at the end of the day, we are all humans. My father told me once that the world has no borders. I miss you every day. It is what I whisper to myself. You see, Papa, I didn't listen to you. We had gone to extreme euphoria to absolute sadness and melancholy, leaving us in a quite intense emotional shock by dedicating those words to his late father. Then there's another shot where there is also a picture also burning, but it comes to be a very personal one to Joost. He has revealed in interviews that it's a family picture of them in a vacation holiday in Norway, adding a much more emotional context to the scene. Soon thereafter, it is seen that the entire structure seen at the beginning of the music video is also burning. Many will wonder what does this mean, as it seems pretty impactful at first. Joost has commented that this comes from attacks he did during one of the many psychological therapy sessions that he has been attending after the loss of his parents, by writing down a part of his story on a paper and then burning it later, with the idea of making room for new energies. It is undeniable the impactful background it has, because it is quite important what he is saying, and it must be quite therapeutic for him. It is related in this case, as he also has said, of not letting the traumas being our burdens in life, but being a motivation to make a change of perspective and by moving forward. I have to say that beyond the deep meaning it has, it does not only move you a lot, but also sheds you some tears in the eyes, because he is a true example of resilience and self-improvement, after having been through into so traumatic events that marked him for life. And it is praiseworthy the fact that he has decided to let things go through the song, to keep living with optimism. The music video then finishes seeing Joost in the open field and sunset, while he watches his past getting burned, to then walk down to his future, with a legend just at the very end which says, "From me to my parents." Making a summary of the comments, the Dutch entry for this year is very fun and very emotional at the same time, representing a quite bold and risky change of strategy compared to last year. So much so that the proposal is an authentic viral success. Just by the day of the official music video premiere, it got over 1 million views, and right now it already has the impressive quantity of 20 million views and still counting, far more than any of the other entries for this year. However, we do not have to forget by experience that virality does not necessarily mean a victory, although there is no doubt as well that as of today, he is another one of the big favorites to win the contest. With so many powerful proposals on this edition, the 5 of the points will be fierce, you will see. On the other hand, we see once again the Karija effect in this proposal, after the ones presented by Estonia and Croatia, and it is because many people are citing Joost as the Dutch version of the Finnish performer. This is not so rare at all, in fact, because casually they do know each other. They are very good friends, and even Karija himself have been during last year, supporting the idea of Joost being the representative for the Netherlands at Eurovision, when the latter one was doing his campaign through the social media. It is interesting in this case how these casual things happen and how later relate to each other. Talking about the staging in Momo, I'm not only imagine it, I'm pretty sure that he's going to be presenting something too extravagant and too crazy, and even more being in charge of closing the second semi-final. His charisma, his energy, and his stage presence are undeniable, being also his main assets when he steps at the front of any stage. All this have been noticeable, by the way, after performing his proposal live in some of the Eurovision pre-parties of the season, confirming in this case that he is still a stage phenomenon. It is remarkable to say that during these live performances, he also included as well the emotional epilogue seen previously in the music video, which have shed many tears among the attendees. I have the doubt if he will decide to include it during his performance in Momo, but if he finally does it, make sure to have enough handkerchiefs, because many of us will cry a lot, including myself, after finishing his performance. With all this said so far, it gives the impression that he will have everything on his side to get a crystal microphone. But will it be really enough to get a sixth victory for the country? It is hard to predict, but the most we can do is wait until he finally presents his proposal on the main stage of Malmö and see the final outcome. And you, what do you think about the Dutch entry for this year? Come on and leave your comments down below. I'm sure the discussion is going to be quite interesting. And this is it for today's episode. Don't forget to like this video if it has been of your taste so it can be spread to more people. You can also subscribe to my channel if you have not done it yet, enable notifications by the bell and follow me through my social media. Take care and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.